For years I'd heard, don't have sex before marriage, but no one explained why. I wasn't taught, I was warned. But looking back over my life, I've now realized why God said wait. I thought it was about rules. Don't. I was told, don't have sex. I better not hear you've had sex. Bet not nobody tell me you've done this, that, or the other. In my house growing up, I was not taught the birds and bees. I was not given the sex talk, ever. It was basically an understanding that you better not do what I'm telling you not to do, and you better do what I'm telling you to do. I grew up being told, do as I say, period, point, and blank. For me, I was dared to do something, or I was given the side eye, or I don't know. There were just subtle understandings that I had where I knew better than to do certain things or ask certain questions. I knew better. There were no explanations why. It's for adults. It's not for kids. It's not for you. I thought it was restriction. The older I'd gotten, the more I realized it wasn't about control at all. It's something much deeper. Sex creates attachment. I didn't know that. You've heard my testimony. I've got a few videos definitely detailing a few events that have happened in my life. You've watched my X-Files, where I detailed 4 stories with 4 of my exes, and in those events, of course, I did have sex with each of them, but the end result, we weren't together, and I ended up having an attachment to each one of them sexually. Since I did end up having sex with all 4 of these individuals, I did grow attachments that I could not understand why I had them, dealing with parts of their spirit now attached to my own. And if you didn't know, these attachments are called soul ties. You make yourself one with the person that's not your husband or your wife. You are now one. I've made myself one with over 80 men in my life. But these 4 men, of course, were boyfriends. They all left some sort of mark on my spirit. And I was left to deal with that. God is not against sex. He's not against pleasure. He's against it being done in the wrong place. Say, for instance, fire is good, right? Inside the fireplace when I build it in its area, correct? Let's say, for instance, that fire I built outside the fireplace in the living room. Y'all gonna look at me real crazy if I light this fire in the middle of the living room, right? Not inside its correct place. There's a time and place for everything, right? Fire is good, but fire also has consequences if it's not done in its proper place. Same thing with sex. Since I had sex with these men, I created bonds with them, and I could not let go. I stayed with them longer than I should have, and those growing attachments that I ended up having, I confused for love. And to add insult to injury, I ignored red flags that I would have seen if I hadn't had sex with them. And I don't want you to have to endure something that's going to take you years to recover from. You don't want to recover from lies and mistrust from a man or woman you thought you could live with for the rest of your life. You don't want to end up having diseases or infections that they're calling them now, STIs. You don't want that. Lifelong diseases. You heard my one story where I almost ended up with HIV. I did mess with a man who was infected, but I did not go all the way. But just the tip is just enough. The Lord spared me. He spared me. And I thank God that he did. You don't want to have attachments to men or women that you're not going to spend the rest of your life with. You know you're going to hit it and quit it, and then you ain't going to deal with this person no more. Sometimes you have children out of these situations with men or women that you can't stand. You can avoid that now. You can avoid dealing with their demons, their ignorances. You can avoid that. They can avoid yours. If we're just going to be real and honest about it. I'm begging you to wait. You don't have to deal with unnecessary trauma, trial, and tribulation that'll later have to turn into your testimony. You don't have to do that. You can just listen now and be all right now. Have peace now, discernment now. I believe God is protecting us. God was not trying to keep me from pleasure. He was trying to protect me. He was trying to cover me. He was trying to protect my peace, my discernment, my future. So when you understand the why, waiting seems much less like punishment and more so like wisdom. This video is not about shame. Lord knows I've made plenty of mistakes. This is about understanding, because after everything I've been through and lived through and recovered from, I know now that God was never trying to control me. He's always been there covering me. If you've enjoyed this video, subscribe to me. Come chill, come hang. Love you.